First of all, I would like to ask you, how would you characterize the current status of the CE market, both from the underwriting and the claims point of view at this moment?
I would say the CE market is for us still a growth area, but the growth is at this point in time a bit damped in a way that we are confronted with economic impacts which affect the whole region, but not only the CE territory. That's true for many other markets as well. So we are in a phase where the economics are not ideal for the insurance industry, but CE is part of that. So I would not see such a big difference in the CE territory to other markets.
On the claims side, we see to a large extent developments taking place that we've seen in Western Europe, and that now with time, we see in CE countries as well. For example, we see that the awareness of claimants, has been growing over time due to better communication and better knowledge transfer from other markets. And this, all in all, has an increasing effect on the claims indemnification amounts.
Besides this, I would like to know from you, in the last decade or more than a decade, this region has experienced an important change in the ownership of the companies. Mostly or almost all the relevant companies in the area were bought by the big players. This change did also change something in the way you are doing business in this region?
Yes, it does. I must say, as you say, there are many countries where you have a lot of subsidiaries of what we call global players. So for Swiss Re, and I can only speak for Swiss Re as a reinsurance company, the buying of the reinsurance has to some extent moved to the headquarters of those companies. So the business or the protection is sought not locally, like a market here where we are today in Romania, but centrally, so where the headquarters of those companies are. This is not true for every of the big players, but for most of them.
It's not typically a claims topic, but what we see on the claim side here is as well that there is a certain know-how transfer from the mother companies to the companies in CE. So clearly this has an impact on the claim side as well in terms of better knowledge of what's going on the claim side.
So as always, there are good things and not so good things in this change. You are covering as one of the biggest reinsurers I think almost all the business lines in the market. So from this perspective, which business lines do you think are the most challenging at this moment, both in terms of underwriting and pricing and for the claims side?
From the underwriting perspective, I would say it's especially those lines which have a tail, meaning a long tail, so which is especially true for the motor third-party liability business. So there is something where especially the bodily injury part is playing a huge role. And I would like to be a bit more specific in a way what is affecting, and maybe Andreas comments on that part, is where we have change in law. So we're faced then with new particularities of the law, and that influences what we pay out as claims. We conclude the contract now, claims are being paid at a very later point in time. So that's where we see the biggest challenges, which does not mean that we are not facing the challenges. We are, and we really want to do that also going forward, especially looking here at the Romanian market, where we are a major player on motor third party.
Well, on the claim side, obviously what Nicola said, changes in the legal landscape are always a big challenge, And regarding the lines of business, where we see our biggest involvement is clearly on the property side with certain types of fire losses, especially with cooling houses. We had a lot of those. But on the other hand, it's also about engineering losses. On this area, these are our biggest involvements. And then with respect to casualty, it's clearly motor as well, which we can discuss a bit more in detail.
Yeah, thank you. You have mentioned the motor line and especially the MTPL one, which is currently considered the less profitable, but still holding in most of the CE countries the largest share in the market portfolio. Prices are always a problem, claims are becoming larger and larger, bodily injuries are still a problem everywhere. How do you comment from your perspective the market behavior in this respect?
I would say I would very much differentiate the different markets we are talking about when we talk about the CE area as a total, because we are here from the reinsurer's perspective not always involved in what is happening in the direct markets. Take an example of Russia. We are not very much into the MTPL business, whereas here in Romania, where we are today, we are. So it differs quite a lot. So it's not a common perspective we can take. You ask particularly what is really the specific challenge which we see there. We want to do the business in a profitable way. So for us, it's really the challenge to assess the business in the best possible way with the information being at hand. That is one important topic. And the other is really that the margins which are offered to us are still sustainable enough to be part of that business.
Motor is really an interesting line of business, and I remember when I started working on the CE markets on the claims side some 20 years ago, there was one topic of concern on the claim side. It was the property damage to the car. That was it. Nobody at the time in many of these countries spoke about the bodily injury. And compared to today, this has totally changed. While property damage still accounts for the largest chunk of a loss in real extreme catastrophic motor losses, normally the normal just expensive claims are driven by bodily injury. And there we have seen a trend of increases in specific areas. For example, take Romania with the moral damage. That is something we have seen in other countries as well. And the essence is just kind of to get aware in time of it, to be able to take corrective actions and to keep it under control.
Okay, thank you. But leaving a little bit this challenging part of your business, let's think for a moment, where are the opportunities lying? What line of business do you see, for which lines do you see an interesting developing in the future years?
I would say as Swiss Re is maybe one of those reinsurers, we're offering a wide range of products, and we are really there as a we offering basically everything, I would say. For us, it's really important that the clients recognize where we can bring something in addition to the table. So it's not always only like just a pure reinsurance we offer. It's also the work together with the cedents, this additional parts of services where we see our strength and where we believe we can position ourselves in the markets. So what kind of products does that mean? It's those ones where you have specific elements, where we can bring something in addition to the table, something particular, something, a differentiating element also, where the cedents can benefit from that.
Well, I presume that's not so much a claims-related questions, but once you will have started, writing these lines of business, we'll have to deal with them. Take, for example, cyber coverage, which one day, maybe a line that will be demanded in these countries as well. But we are not there yet. But on the claim side, certainly this will pose some challenges of its own.
Your answer is bringing me to my next question, that reinsurers, beside offering reinsurance coverage, their core business, also intervene in the markets with their knowledge, with their general view on their experiences and so on. And from this point of view, which is Swiss Re's approach? What are you doing in relation with the CE markets where you are present?
So I would say this is really something where Swiss Re feels to be, that's part of our core offering. That we not just providing the capital which is needed for the cedent or the pure capacity, but that we really get into discussions with the cedents. And as we are here today to lead a conference and host a conference, that really is maybe the best example of describing that we want to be involved in what is happening in the market. We really want to have a discussion, and we want to also share what we learned elsewhere and discuss with the cedents how we can face a certain challenge. In this case, it's a claims conference, but we also do other ones where we get into those discussions for a market. But there are also many things we do together with particular cedents which go beyond the reinsurance. So it's discussing whatever we had seen in the other territories, or also hinting towards some developments which might come.
I understand that today claims are the main issue on the agenda for the Romanian market. What do you intend to develop as a subject? What do you want to present today, especially for the public you have here?
Well, it's really kind of talking a little bit some pain points, kind of as what I mentioned before, this development, certain of like damage, kind of discuss what are the reasons, what is the insurance industry doing about it, how can we contain it and control. It's all to do, as I mentioned before, with legal certainty as well to a large extent, because legal certainty, uncertainty or unpredictability has an effect on the price and clearly leads to a surcharge. So in order to have adequate premium levels that are affordable, you first have to establish solid grounds in terms of legal predictability. And for the rest, referring to the question you asked to Nicola, I think from my experience, Swiss Re has always been, from my experience, very active in the CE markets in terms of training. And clearly, we view training not as a one-way street. On one hand, of course, we can bring into the market our experience with other markets, some typical or even atypical situations that a cedent may not have the experience with in a certain market. But on the other hand, our benefit from that is the exchange with the clients who have the practical knowledge of a specific market, and that is extremely valuable for Swiss Re as well.
I think there's one way, as you mentioned, trainings. I think one way of exchange of knowledge is really that if it comes to claims, we get into discussions. So it's not only the training as such, but on the case, exchanging views and bringing knowledge together. I think that's the benefit we can bring to the table.
For the end, I would like to ask you which are, in fact, Swiss Re's strategic plans for this area. How do you intend to develop your business in the CEE region?
For me, it's a core question because I'm really responsible for that area for Swiss Re. So it's really close to my heart to go to the next level even. As I said in the beginning, there is at this point in time affecting really the whole of Europe a bit economic downturn. But I think we have come across the biggest pain points. So I see slightly that picking up. So where do we want to be? As Swiss Re, it's really we want to be present in the markets, and we are present in the markets. When I say markets, I mean really the whole range of the CEE territory, and that's for sure not a change in strategy. It's really something we want to do midterm, where we want to be. Anything particular you might think about? I think in the CEE area there's a lot to explore, which comes back. So where are we? How do we see this region? there are a lot of products where we would see a benefit for the buyers, which are not yet bought to such an extent. There are, I would say, gaps which we could fill together. I think I see it as a star on the horizon where we could go to.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Thank you, Andreas. And I wish you a good event here in Romania and a lot of success.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.